Man, we are already at episode 12. That's crazy. But anyways, guys, welcome back to Hello Lady. We're going to be continuing right where we left off. We just had a wonderful time with Tamao. Talked about a lot of things. Romance. We talked about breaking in and finding the Academy secrets. You know, all that wonderful stuff. And now we are having a dinner lesson. And I absolutely hate these fine dining lessons. And I've said this in previous videos. They're terrible. I just don't like doing fine etiquette. It's just awful. Don't do it. I don't recommend it. We sat in pairs and learned proper etiquette. My partner for the night, Saku, heaved a long sigh. Oh, so you saw that photo. The one she'd taken at noon, surely. It seemed she'd actually escaped Tamao. And she even managed to spread it among the other crowns. Eru Takazaki was no joke. Dang. Saku, are you jealous? Perhaps? Her face made it clear that she was on the verge of collapsing. Oh, okay. I'm actually curious to see what you have to say. She aimed a resolute gaze at me. Oh, okay. It's gonna be one of these talks, like, hey, if you break her heart, I'll break yours, you know? Those words suited her, and hearing them brought me great comfort. She didn't know. The crowns, Tamao included, didn't know. They didn't know Shinri Narita's true goal. Shinri Narita never hesitated. He was an avenger who mercilessly ended his target's life in order to sate his desires, even if it brought misery to others. And his actions would surely bring about many tragedies at the Academy. Would Saku Otonashi tolerate that? Dang, that got serious there real quick. Today was a peaceful day. The afternoon encounter that had helped me understand Tamao a lot better. As I sat on a chair and pondered various things, it became an hour past lights out. After I muttered that, I heard a knock on the door. Oh, okay. Coming into our room for some late night fun, huh? The door slowly opened and Tamao peeked inside. She came to visit just as we'd agreed. She snuck into the center of the room and sat down, looking as meek as a kitten before bowing down. Why are you being so formal? What the heck? Flustered, she turned all red and jumped a whole 40 centimeters. That's oddly specific. Okay, I'll accept it. I quickly ran up to her and covered her mouth. Yeah, you're gonna give me away again. People are gonna think I'm watching something. Saku and Soriko were on the second floor, but Eru was my neighbor, and she had excellent hearing. If she heard something here, she would likely come over to investigate. Right after I moved to pin Tamao and keep her voice down. I heard a knock on the door. Unfortunately for you, Soriko, I already have all the help I need. Speak of the devil, no, Sorika's room was located upstairs and a bit to the side. Had she actually picked up the noise and walked over to help? That seemed a little fast, no? What a devilish ear. Did that talent of hers have anything to do with her tendency to help others, or had the ability formed as a result of her nature? Humans had some rather fearsome hidden powers. Regardless, I realized it would have been bad for us if she found Tamao here, past lights out, in this situation. I had to hide this somehow.
一人で老若男女の数人が騒ぐ声を練習していてね。私の電気ビデオを制作する際に必要なのだよ。そうだったんだ。で
Gosh, why do you gotta be so nosy? What the frick? Can't we just have a conversation in my room?
恥ずかしながらまだ練習中なのでね。しかし部屋にいてそこまで聞き分けたのかね。素晴らしい。私から君にゴールデンゴッドイヤーの称号を贈ろう。
そんな褒めてもらうようなことじゃ。でもそういう事情なら練習頑張ってね。
Yeah, Narita really does remind me of Okabe and sometimes. Like when he named what Moeka Shining Finger. Like now she's Golden Ear.
それじゃおやすみなさい。お邪魔しちゃってごめんね。あとどうせならもう少し早い時間に練習した方がいいんじゃないかな。
Wait, I don't? Frick.
ここは集団生活の場だから。
心に留めておこう。おやすみ、空子。君が心安らかに眠ることを祈っている。
I heard her walk away. She must have returned to her room. Can we talk about how paper thin these walls are, though? Everyone was unique, indeed. I didn't expect her to have such a side to her.
さて、玉尾も落ち着いたかね。
I mean, it would be nice if there was somewhere else around the academy we could talk, but, you know, security and all. Did the word match make her think of something sexual? I mean, okay. She had a tendency to strongly deny anything of that vein, but what if she was actually quite interested in the subject? I wanted to look into the matter, but we had other priorities. Oh, thank goodness. Yeah, I don't want to delve into that, you know? Okay. She pulled out 2 micro SD cards. She turned on her laptop and used it to scan one of the cards.
1枚目はここの学生のプロフィールデータが入ってる。手間はかかったけど、ほぼ全学生分揃えられた。
Dang, Tamao, you're like surprisingly serious at the moment. I'm not used to it.
詳細なデータだな。
ここのサーバーで実際に管理してるやつだから。
Wait, how did you get into the server? I thought I hired that other guy. Did he not do it? Is that why I killed him? He's not doing his job? Freaking Hanazono. Failed me for the last time. That's why I put you in the ground. Dates, places of birth, records of their past, medical histories, family trees, etc. You even had their achievements in the academy. They misspelled that. Grades, notable personality points, and stages in the curriculum. Though it contained nothing about their halos.
これだけのデータを手に入れられたのは大したものだ。
I mean, they have to know about their halos somewhere. Somebody has to know. Those were my honest thoughts, sure. I didn't know whether she cracked the system or used some other route, but none of that mattered. I actually had some of this data. Takashi Hanazono had acquired it as part of my request. Okay, perfect, so he did get us it. And we still killed him. To be honest, he deserved it. However, the main server's information didn't illuminate Kurofune's true goal. Naturally, Halo details and that information about the secrets of the Academy were difficult to access from the outside. The system that hid those probably hadn't been connected to any others.
これ見て、成田はどう思う？意見聞かせてくれよ。
I think we need to break into the plant, baby.
全員が HMI だが、それ以外にことさら異常な点はないようだね。
次はこっちだ。
She said that, then placed the second card in the slot and accessed a file. It showed OCR scans of some newspaper articles. The dates and locations mentioned on each article were different, but they were all reports of deaths. There were accidents, illnesses, suicides, and far more, but none of them seemed extraordinary. However, I knew she was showing them to me for a reason.
どうだ、成田。
Were they cover-ups by the Academy? Tamao was emotional, but no fool. Instead of telling me the truth right away, she asked for my unbiased opinion on the matter.
死んでいるのは学生か類する年少者ばかりか。
The first list had students who had enrolled in the Academy. They were all alive, of course, so what was the relation between it and these articles? Soon enough, I realized that the notable things were the locations. The places the students were from and the places mentioned in the obituaries nearly matched. I had no map on hand, so I couldn't confirm the exact distance, but the articles alone made that fact clear. Some were in the same prefectures, while others in the same towns. Had something happened near their homes? Acts of terror that targeted their relatives, perhaps? No, it was opposite. These incidents didn't coincidentally happen where the students came from. Rather, they were caused by the people capable of enrolling them into the academy. Okay, so I was kind of thinking this the whole time they were talking, but are they implying that they're trying to, like, essentially erase the existence of the HMIs? So, like, when a student would come to the academy, they would essentially, like, kill them off in their area, right? So it made it seem like they weren't, there anymore. I don't know if that's where they're going with that. That's kind of what I'm getting, though. Oh, maybe they're implying that people looking for the students there are getting killed off?
それが事実なら分かっているだけでも死者は数百人。それが全て学園にまつわる死者だとすれば、なるほど。これが帝黒船のアキレス腱か。
成田、ミトリはやっぱりもう死んじゃってるのかな。
Mao had almost never mentioned Mitori since her disappearance. And it clearly hadn't been because she wanted to forget the friend who'd left. She had a solid guess involving what had happened to her. Even I, the transfer student, was shocked when Mitori Kabutoyama vanished. It must have hit Tamao quite hard, especially since it was no ordinary parting.
サクも言ってたけど、友達だった俺たちに一言の相談もなしにいきなり退学するなんて、どう考えても信じられない。おかしいよ。最初からうすうすそうなんじゃないかと思ってたけど、考えるのが怖かったんだ。
She looked down at the floor.
スクールの途中退学者は結構多いんだ。数ヶ月ごとに一人か二人くらいは辞めていって、代わりに新しいやつが入ってくる。特殊な学園だし、あぶれる人数としたら適正だろうって見過ごしてた。
So the academy is killing off people, maybe to hide their secrets.
ミトリについては調べさせた。
As I sat behind her, I told her something I'd hoped to hide.
調べさせた。
聞くかね。喜ばしい知らせではないと先に言っておこう。
I mean, I don't care if she wants to hear it. I want to hear it.
知ってるんなら教えてくれよ。ミトリがどうなったのか。俺みたいなやつでも嘘ついてたけどよくしてくれたんだ。友達だから知りたいよ。どんなことでも。
She seemed sincere, so I couldn't lie.
兜山ミトリは病死している。
Oh.
学園から席を抜いてすぐ後だ。少なくとも公式な書類ではそうなっている。
I'd had Hishiya look into it. Mitori's family had a lot of history behind it, so not even Kurofune Mikado could hide what happened completely.
他の退学者についても行方を追わせているが、そちらは芳しくない。転居などで消息のつかめなくなっているケースが多くてね。
That seems really convenient, though. Like, is that really the truth?
2件のみ判明したが、どちらも死亡している。病死と事件に巻き込まれての死亡だ。この分では他の退学者の行方も知れたものではないだろう。
Okay, so this illness has happened to some of the others who died too. I don't know. I think everything's gonna loop back to the plant that we've been talking about, right? I think they're doing some experiments. They're injecting them with things or giving them medication that's supposed to, like, maybe boost their powers, things like that. That's where I assume this is going based on, like, other, things similar to this I played. But who knows? We'll see. And maybe the Halos themselves, maybe it is some kind of illness almost. Maybe, like, you are more susceptible to things because you are an HMI. That could be the case too, but this seems a little targeted to me, so I doubt it's something that specific. If them dropping out was just a front for their death, what had happened to them? Was it an accident, or did the Academy purge them? And in the latter case, why? This was surely related to the Academy's dark secret. Death loomed over the search for new students, and those who left seemed to vanish.
深い闇だ。真実は深淵の底。たどり着くにはあの森を越えねばなるまい。
Yeah, it just... If it was something really just natural cause, or, you know... I just don't think they'd be hiding it like they are.
さて、Tamao。
So we really need to figure out what's going on. As I started to ask her about her plans, I realized how silent she'd been, and upon closer inspection, I noticed a tear streaming down her cheek.
泣いているのは
Hey, Gabe, stop making me care about Tamao. Tamao wasn't even one of my favorite girls. And, like, we've gotten to know her so well, and now I'm getting attached. Like, what the frick? Hate this game. Tamao put her hand on her cheek as if she'd only just noticed. A moment later, another tear escaped her eye.
どうして涙なんて出てるんだろう。これっておかしいよ。成田もそう思うだろう。この程度で汚れがなくなんてバカみたいだ。
I don't know, Tamao. I think at the end of the day, you're like Narita in a way. Like, obviously he's done some bad things, right? But I don't think he's like this terrible person. And I don't think you are either. So, it's okay to cry. Like, obviously there's a lot going on right now. You're finding out a lot that you didn't think was going on either. And we still need to figure out what exactly that is.
赤い人なんだぜ、俺。人死になんて珍しくもなんともない。数えきれないぐらい見たし、自分でも。それなのにさ。
I don't know, Tamao. I don't think you were as close to them as you were probably with Mitori.
今さら友達がいなくなって悲しいとか。
何もおかしくはない。人間とはそういう傲慢な生き物だ。肉まんの敵を笑って殺戮する傍らで傷ついた一人の身内のために天をつくような嘆き悲しみ。そんなどしがたいわがままを我々は悲劇と呼んでは飾り立てる。それを幾億幾兆と積み重ねたものが人の歴史だ。地獄の名には死んだ後の行き場ではなく、今生きているこの場所こそがふさわしい。
Shinri Narita himself was an avenger born of one such tragedy. And the Akahitos were the very representation of the murderous, ravenous nature of mankind.
そうだよな。
それでも人は自分以外のもののために嘆くことができる。
It's a part of being human.
傲慢であろうとわがままであろうと、他人を思って流れる涙は等しく尊いと私は思う。だから玉緒は泣いてもいいのだよ。
変な慰め方するんだな。
I don't know, he takes a very, like, realistic approach to it, kind of like me. I mean, I do that too, and I've had to learn, like, you know, with my wife, sometimes that's not the way to go. You know, women, I feel like, are a little bit more emotional than men. I'm not saying that badly, but having just a straightforward approach sometimes isn't what they want or what they need. So yeah, I guess to a woman, that would be a very weird way of consoling somebody.
俺さ、生まれた時から業界の人間だから、今までまともに友達とかいなかったんだ。
The unexpected tears made Tamao reveal what she'd been holding inside. It was less about telling me about it and more about organizing her thoughts.
赤い人の人間で、おまけに HMI ってさ、バカみたいだよな。もうフルコースって感じだろ。何も知らない頃は当たり前だって思ってた。仕事で外へ出るようになって世間の、要するに普通のやつと比べたらさすがに自分たちがおかしいんだって理解した。一回 マジで鬱陶しくなって家飛び出したこともあるんだぜ。
赤人が嫌になった。
俺そこまで可愛げはねえよ。言った通り単に鬱陶しかったんだ。同い年ぐらいの他のやつが遊んだり騒いだりしてて、ああいうのももしかしたら楽しいのかなって。でも当然赤人はそういうの許すわけないしさ。
Yeah, that would be hard wanting something you can't have.
それで飛び出した。反抗期の一種かもな。
Tamao chuckled lightly.
でもダメだったな。結局どこ行っても馴染めなくて、やっぱり俺は呪い持ちの化け物だったよ。犬と狼はよく似てるけど別物だろ。形が似てるから俺も真似できるかって思ったけど、真似は真似さ。本物じゃないからうまくいかなかったんだ。今だってここの学生みたいな顔してるけど、他の連中みたいにはなりきれない。とんだ大根役者ってわけさ。結局のところ生まれた時から赤人で、骨も肉も全部それでできてる。
To prove they were normal, mankind needed abnormalities to shun. Tamao was both an HMI and an Akahito, a born murderer. Society was set to ostracize her from the very start. I had no idea what she'd experienced after she ran away from home, and she herself didn't elaborate. However, it was enough to make this cheerful girl give up.
このスクールに来て初めて友達ってのがどういう意味なのか分かったんだ。俺こんななりだろ。ヤンキーキャラでさ、関わってくるやつがいないから仕事の時は便利なんだぜ。ここに来た時もやっぱ距離置かれちゃってて、静かでいいかとか思ってそのままぼっちやってたら、何をどう勘違いしたのかサクたちがわざわざ向こうから話しかけてきやがった。
Saku Otonashi had said that anyone could smile here. Didn't that mean the hive of abnormality that was the academy was her promised land? Or perhaps not, since her stay here had been sustained by her own and the academy's lies. She arrived at the academy quite a while ago, so how had she failed to uncover its secrets thus far? Had she subconsciously stalled the job because she was afraid of ending this momentary peace? No, that was an ugly question. Even if it was true, I couldn't have blamed her for it. Even I, Shinri Narita, had found some solace in this gray garden. The place felt like a lone, shining, priceless gem. I almost wanted to thank Kurofune for that.
本当に大切な友人だったのだね。
She furrowed her brow and voiced her frustration.
こいつを仕組んでる奴ら全員この手で緑たちと同じ目に合わせてやりてえ。
I finally realized that even if she was an Akahito, Tamao was actually an honest girl who loved her friends. However, she'd entered the academy as an enemy, so she had to constantly betray them by keeping her secrets. That unchangeable truth must have tormented her, and those words just now were born out of anger for failing to protect Mitori. Her voice sounded confused and meek, unable to bear the sight I embraced her from behind. For once, she didn't panic or try to escape. She simply gave in to my warmth and leaned into my chest. I couldn't just say that it must have been hard for her. That was something only she herself could gauge. Instead, I merely wished to ease her burdens in whatever way
以
possible.
前私が受け取った言葉を君にも手渡そう。変化を恐れるな。起こってしまったことをやり直す術はないが、そこから先、自分にできることは必ず何かある。過去と未来を恐れず、一歩を踏み出したまえ。
She looked up to me with red eyes, then wiped away her remaining tears and formed a resolute expression.
俺はスクールをこのままにしておけない。 放っておいたらこれからもきっと何人も死ぬ。知っちまった以上黙っていられるか。この事件俺の事件だ。何もかもこの手で終わらせてやる。なんだよ成田、柄でもないとか思ってんのか。
Tamao bashfully looked up at me.
そんなことを思っている風に見えたのかね。残念ながら今考えていたのは玉緒が美しいということだよ。
突然何言ってやがんだ。
I didn't see any reason to be so bashful around someone she had already kissed, but that innocence of hers made her all the more lovable.
伝説によれば西の赤人は殺し屋だ。依頼を受ければ殺して善も悪も王侯聖者俗人も区別なく殺すことで等しくする。故に殺し屋。しかし玉緒はスクールを許せないと言った。何も知らずに殺される学生たちを救いたいと願った。
ほんと柄にもないよな、俺みたいな裏の人間が。
うつむくな。何も知らぬまま浪費されて命を奪われる者がいる。続いたはずの命を破棄される者がいる。その現実は間違いなく悪だ。悪が間違いだと糾弾できる君の心の尊さに比べれば、君が何者であるかなどさまつでしかない。偽善だと蔑む輩には好きに言わせておけ。君は私のような半端者とは違う。胸を張って信じるところを成したまえ。迷っていては救われる者たちに笑われるぞ。
Yeah, I think like the difference between Narita and Tamao is that Tamao was kind of forced into this lifestyle and is realizing now as she's an adult, you know, that she doesn't really agree with it, you know? Like this was just something that she was told her family does and that's what she needs to do, right? And I think for a lot of people as you become an adult, you realize what your parents wanted for you and maybe what you want are two different things. And, you know, as a parent, that'd be kind of sad. To have your child, you know, want to go a different way if you thought you were trying to lead them down a good path, which I don't know about the Akahitos. I don't know if that's a good path, but I think the difference between her and Narita is Narita has chosen this. He's gone through his life. He's an adult now, and he's saying, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to get revenge. I want to make sure the people that, you know, killed my family and, you know, screwed this big part of my life suffer for it. I want to make sure that they pay, you know? So I think that's where her difference in motivation, you know, and now she has a little more motivation to get back at the academy with Mitori, her good friend, dying. And she's not sure if it was really an illness or what the cause was, because obviously the academy is trying to hide it. They're trying to cover it up, which just makes it all the more suspicious.
約束通り私は玉緒の願いを手伝おう。同じ道を行ける限り。それがどこまでかは私にもわからないが。
Yeah, I could definitely see them having some differences because obviously their motivations are different. So I'm sure at some point that might clash, and they might have to make a decision that they both want to do something different. But we'll see. Tamao closed her eyes and slowly placed her hand over mine.
今度こそあの森の向こうに隠された秘密を暴いてやる。
素晴らしい決意だ。しかしまずは怪我を癒すのが先決だろう。
あの程度の怪我もう治ったぜ。
She's healed already, but those wounds were quite severe.
まさかいくらなんでも見せてみたまえ。
She looked at me clearly confused, but I didn't hesitate. Instead, I stripped her of her clothing at lightning fast speeds.
お代官様ご無体でございますぞ。
Her top and bottom disappeared in less than 3 seconds, leaving her in just simple underwear.
待てこれはいくらなんでも待て。
待つのは君だと。分
He's taking advantage of it. Honestly, I feel like he'd be the one that got in trouble for it, though. Even if, like, they saw Tamao in there, they would blame him. Tamao panicked, but she understood the dangers of being seen like that in a man's room, so her screen faded. Her bashfulness couldn't escape through sound, so her skin reddened. She bit her lower lip and tried to bear the embarrassment. Honestly, the way she attempted to conceal her exposed skin looked extremely charming. My honest thoughts made her even more bashful. Huh. Does she have, like, increased regeneration? Her soft, pale skin, her glamorous, slender arms, her toned waistline, her wild legs, there were no wounds to be found on any of them. Or perhaps because of her halo? Yeah, that's what I think it is. Her halo improved her physical capabilities, so it could very well have enhanced her metabolism as well. Don't you dare show anything. Okay, thank goodness. I carefully touched her pearly skin. It wasn't just that the surface had reconnected, she was unharmed and beautiful beneath as well. Even when I touched the places where she had more serious wounds, she felt no pain. Oh my gosh. Freaking shut up. This just reminds me of Sora from No Game No Life, like feeling up Jabril and touching her in different areas. She turned meeker than ever as I thoroughly inspected her body. I rubbed her shins, then put my hands over her knees. The softness of her thighs felt otherworldly. Skin so smooth you couldn't see any pores, with tension that even the smallest droplet of water would have bounced off of. A pleasant scent wafted off her chest, and her softness was hard to describe. Her flat stomach, which showed no sign of fat, suited her perfectly. I'm pretty sure this stopped being about checking for wounds a long time ago. I'd rather you not, Narita. I'm not allowed to show that, okay? She almost went berserk again, but I calmed her down. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ignoring Tamao's protest, I continued examining every part of her. Whoa, my guy.
Tamao は全身に怪我を負っていた。確かめるには全身に触れねばならないだろう。
The sensation of my hands was pleasant by itself, but the sounds she made when I touched the more sensitive places were truly something. After checking her ribcage, I moved to her soft upper arms. As I moved from the collarbone to her back, I felt like I was touching a new enameled product. I truly enjoyed the feeling, however, when I smiled in satisfaction and took a break, Tamao spoke. She's enjoying it. Why does every girl want to just give in to his desire? Soriko is the same way. It's so dumb. Like, my honest opinion made her look away and let out a gasp.
そう思うか。
She looked at me with a slightly gloomy expression on her face.
いろんなことしてきた。何人も始末したし、悪事の片棒担いだことだってあるんだぜ。
変わらない過去を嘆いても何一つ始まらない。玉尾が過去を悔いているのなら、それに勝る未来を築くよう努めればいい。
Yeah, that's true.
罪と
I
は
agree.
消えないものだ。過去はついて回る。後ろ指さす者もいるだろう。だが、それに負けて未来を捨てるのは、過去の全てが無意だったと認めてしまうことだ。道を歩んだ者には、歩んだだけの責任がある。それは、歩み続けることでしか返せない。
The blood spilt, the lives taken. Those who supported us, the things we've thrown away are simply ignored. Those who walked down the path of carnage carried everything they'd done with them.
迷ってもいい。望むなら進む道を変えるのもいいだろう。どんな道であれ、信じて胸を張って進め。破れるときは全力を尽くして破れたまえ。
それが俺の責任か。
生まれや育ちがどうであれ、玉尾の輝きは本物だ。私は知っている。それで十分ではないのかね。
何を言ってやがんだよ。ったく、口だけ達者な男は信用するなって昔ばあちゃんが言ってた。
I mean, that's good advice, but like, Narita is a good talker, right? But I feel like he knows how to back that up too. And I mean, we saw that in the last episode when he kissed her. Like, that was awesome. Like, that was really smooth. I was impressed.
君は本物の清楚な乙女だ。やはり乙女とは核あるべきだ。
成田は清楚なのが好き。
思考としてはそうだが、今は玉尾の方がもっと愛おしい。
Tamao shook in embarrassment. Her damp eyes shone like jewels, and profound color seemed to suck my heart in.
君は誰よりも美しい。以前と同じ質問をしよう。私は玉尾を愛している。君はどうだろう。
Oh, dang. He's just straight up saying, I love you now.
それは成田。俺、私、成田のこと。
Tamao looked away, seeming hesitant. I merely waited for the words that followed, and eventually, after an arm on the clock finished a lap, she gathered her courage.
俺も成田のことを好きだ。
Like you. I said I love you. Hey, that's not the same. The Japanese sometimes describe silent voices as akin to mosquito buzzes, and that suited her perfectly. The joy made my mind go blank, but I controlled myself. After all, I had to keep calm. Luckily, that proved easy, for I was a master of self-denial. Shut up. Every time he says that.
これは
これはじゃねえだろ。
The joy had made me push Tamao down.
安心してほしい。もちろん私は勢いと成り行きでことになど及ばない。
じゃあ早くどいて。
Master of self-denial, my butt.
私は玉をが欲しい。
She looked surprised, like she didn't understand my words. Then she gasped, looked around, and stared off into the distance.
初級すぎんだろ。
だがこうも考えている。それでいいのだろうかと。私たちはこの先どうなるかもわからない。結果、玉を傷つけてしまうだけではないのかと。それは私の望むところではないのだから。
Her expression changed countless times in a matter of seconds. She bit down her lip, clenched her teeth, grinned, pouted, opened her mouth, and then shut it and faced me.
覚悟してきた
Hiding her eyes, she awkwardly, yet resolutely, said those words like we were about to duel.
今日は来るとき覚悟してきたから。こんなになったらそれでもいいって。
Dang, Tamao, you were planning on this happening before you even came in here, huh? No wonder.
玉を愛している。
Tamao sat on my bed, still as a Jizo statue. She must have gotten embarrassed when she reflected on all of her words and deeds.
着替えはどうするかね。
元の服着てパパッと部屋に戻る。それより成田。
She suddenly raised her head, looking strangely serious.
この学園やっぱり好きなんだ。守りたいよ。
殺すのではなく、倒すのでもなく、守りたいと願うのかね。
こんなこと思うの初めてだけど。俺みたいな裏の人間がそんなこと言うの、お門違いかもしれないけど。
気づいているか？玉尾の言葉は一つの矛盾をはらんでいる。
She looked down and nodded slightly. Despite it all, she was clever, so of course she knew.
玉尾が真実を突き止めれば、スクールは少なからぬ打撃を受けるだろう。君の背景の意図にもよるが、機に乗じて解体されることも十分にあり得る。
There was another possibility, one I couldn't tell her. If Shinri Narita fulfilled his goal, the academy could easily vanish. It was akin to an oasis supported only by the individual known as Kurofune Mikado. Without him as a pillar, this paradise had no hope of remaining what it was.
でも、俺たちが何もしなかったら、この先も大勢死人が出るんだろう。俺たちと同じ HMI が誰かの事情で勝手に殺されていく。
そうだ。
そんなの許せるわけがない。
時間はまだある。最後の瞬間に迷わないで済むようよく考えておきたまえ。己が何を守りたいのか、何を成したいのか、それは玉尾自身にしか出せない答えなのだから。
She nodded again. To Tamao, the academy was a small paradise as well as an enemy, so she had to figure out what to protect and what to destroy. Peace, justice, life, or...
成田、ありがとう。
玉尾は大切な人だ。君が安らかにあるのは私にとっても喜びだよ。いちいち礼など言うには及ばない。
I asked the same question myself. Could I do it? Of course. I had long since gathered my resolve.
じゃあ、明日は早速、あの森に。
いや、それはしばらく待ちたまえ。
Tamao clenched her fist, but I stopped her by raising my hand.
なんでだよ。怪我だって治ってただろ。
玉尾の体はとても美しかった。だが、あの森の奥、学園中枢を攻めるとすれば大仕事だ。これ以上の死者を出したくないと焦る気持ちはわかるが、失敗しては元も子もない。慎重にことを運ばねばな。
Yeah, it's good to get a plan going, maybe get some more information, and they possibly could get another ally of some kind.
まず外堀から埋めていく。今夜玉尾が持ってきた情報を調べさせようと思う。何か分かれば隠し立てせずに知らせよう。
わかった。成田がそう言うなら待つよ。
The last time we tried to uncover the Academy's secrets, we faced a powerful obstacle. We had to be more careful in our second attempt. A good idea. Yeah, I just think they need some more time. Like, there's gonna be a lot of work that needs to happen. 2 days had passed. I contacted Hishia yesterday and asked her to look into a few things. Any information that helped with our trek through the forest would have been greatly appreciated, but I didn't expect too much. It was fair to consider a forceful approach. We had the regular ball next week. The powerful political presence there would surely shift the focus of security. It seemed like a good time to make a move, but I wasn't certain. I still had something to take care of that had nothing to do with Tamao. I had 3 people left to punish, so I had to avoid someone finding out Shinri Narita's true identity at all costs. Or perhaps it was smarter to rush and get rid of the other two before Kurofune. I would have to trek through the forest to kill him eventually, but I wouldn't want anything getting in my way. Even if it meant our separation. Honestly, I think once he kills the other two, though, it's going to really out him. Because then someone's going to connect the dots. Like, they're not dumb. Like, having one person die who wasn't really, like, a big character, I don't think it will be too suspicious. But I think killing the other two will. Hiding such thoughts completely, I cheerfully enter the classroom.
Ohayo, Shokun. 外はまばゆいばかりの朝の光。まるで私のように最高の快晴ではないかね。
What? Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's just as great as you. Most of the students were already in their seats. The crowd sitting at the back looked up inquisitively.
おはよう、成田。その、玉尾は？
後から行くと言っていたが。
Skipping class?
そう。今日はちゃんとたどり着いてくれればいいんだけど。もうすぐ授業始まっちゃうけど、まだ来ないし、心配だよ。どこかの壁に引っかかっているんじゃ。
一昔前のゲームキャラじゃないですよ。精度としてはもっと低めっぽいですが。
What even was that noise? It sounded like a goat having a stroke. That's not how you say that. And even if I knew how to say that, I wouldn't say it. Like, nobody should be saying that out loud. You don't say LOL out loud. Eru laughed in a curious manner, but fell silent the moment Saku shot her a reproachful look.
今のはどこの風習かね？東南アジアだろうか。
アジアには違いありませんが、極めて東の方でたしなまれている風習です。自分、教養深いですので。
Saku and Soriko looked at each other, clearly in distress. Yeah, me too. I'm in distress as well after hearing that. I understood them very well. After the dreamlike experience 2 days ago, Tamao started acting far too strange. She went to class normally without trying to show off in front of everyone, but every now and then some strange alien influence overwhelmed her and she turned into a hopeless maiden. For example, when Saku spoke to her at lunch yesterday.
Tamao, どうしたの？またぼーっとして。
うるせえ。乙女のハッピーだよ。
Tamao, get a hold of yourself. She spoke not to Saku, but the growth at her side.
玉尾ちゃん、とうとう壊れちゃったのかな？サナトリウム行きの準備をした方がいい？
Hey, I mean, Soriko, you weren't much better, okay? You were doing some weird stuff, too. I mean, okay, admittedly not quite that weird, but you were making us meals, and that was strange.
もう少し経過を見ましょう。案外ここんとこ約60度の角度で殴ると一時的に治るかもしれません。そう、首のあたり。
You know, Eru, I don't always agree with you, but I think in this case it might be needed.
すると一定時間ごとに殴り続ければまともなまま保てるということになるのかね。
Little violence can solve it, right?
玉尾がパンチドランカーになるからやめて。
Punch drunk? Like when you spike the punch? Everyone in the dorm knew the cause of Tamao's affliction. They were okay with it, but they also wanted the original Tamao back. They wanted her to return to normal.
おや、みんな集まって何の相談だろ
う。Taigi, get out of here. Stop trying to interfere in our conversation. The door opened up and in came Taigi. As always, he was accompanied by a maid, which is still some BS if you ask me.
美しきかな友情ということだよ。これほど古く、また新しい輝きはこの地上にも数えるほどしかないのだ。
同意しよう。友情、類まれなる宝石。それだけに僕はこうも思う。友人に偽りで欺かれるのは辛いことだろうと。
I felt his words reduce the temperature around us. Taiki really did suspect something, specifically that I, or even Tamao Akahito, were enemies out to harm the academy. I had no basis for my assumption, but I still believed it to be true.
世の中には嘘をついた方が良い場合もあるというのがもっぱらの見解ではないのかね。
真実は時に何者にも勝る痛苦をもたらすというわけだね。なるほど。成田は哲学的だ。
大義は史上豊かであるらしい。
The air softened, signaling the end. For now. Dun dun dun! Dun dun dun! Taigi sat in his chair and told his maid to wait outside, a faint smile on his face all the while. Yeah, frickin', because he gets to actually have his maid at school. Some crap. The girls continued to talk about how to handle, or do away with, the current Tamao.
自分的に食療法もおすすめです。一般クラスに生体電流を発することができる子がいると聞いた覚えもありますので、バリリ。
Is it Misaka Mikoto?
やっぱりこういうのは対症療法じゃなく原因を元から立たないとダメかな。
Seemingly giving up on something, the crown's insignia looked around with empty eyes.
原因をってどうするの？
Saku silently turned around and approached me.
ここ数日で玉緒の様子がずいぶん悪化してるような気がするんだけど、身に覚えある？
No. No, I don't. I have no idea. I've done absolutely nothing. Nope. I couldn't tell you. Nope. It's crazy, right? She's just acting so weird over nothing. It's weird. Yeah. Crazy.
さすがは音無し作。軽眼だね。いかにも私のせいで玉緒はおかしくなったのだよ。
Oh, dang. He's just straight up. I forgot. Narita's approach is just to straight up admit it. He doesn't deny nothing.
あれだけ寮でベタベタされたら嫌でもわかるし、とにかく自重してその。
Limit what, Saku? Why don't you tell me? What are you worried about?
夜ごと声が聞こえて困るとかかね。玉緒は可愛らしい声を上げるので、お耳の邪魔になるということはないと思うのだが。
Bruh. He's even implying it too.
生々しい。
頑張ってください。立ち上がれサク。ファイトですサク。
I like how Eru doesn't even care. She's like, okay, you guys do whatever. But Saku is embarrassed about it.
思わずめまいが。でもそうよね。私筆頭だもん。私がやらなくて一体他に誰がスクールの平和を守れるの？頑張れ私。
You just gotta keep well, okay, Saku, because we just got to go through Soriko, and then we have to go through Eru's route, and then we get to your route, which will be nice. Urged by the cheering, Saku recovered.
はいサク。鼻血拭いて。
出てない。
僕、玉緒ちゃんなりにきちんと考えた上でのことだと思うよ。玉緒ちゃん、そういうところはしっかりしてる子でしょ？
I mean, you would think so, but she keeps having those moments where she's like glitching out.
そういう問題でもない。
Saku made Soriko back down and brought her face closer to mine.
玉緒にそこまでしておいて覚悟は決まってるんでしょうね。私としてはこのままミス玉緒が不幸になるのを見過ごすわけには。
愛とは二人に最高の幸せを与えるものではないのかね。もちろん私は玉緒に対して精神的充足だけでなく肉体的な。
Narita, why do you gotta imply things? Why do you always gotta be implying something? Saku lost the ability to stand straight. Soriko had to support her.
サク、しっかりして。気を確かに。成田真理、まさかこれほどまで恐るべき男であったとは。サクをこのような形で KO するとは自分にも予想外でした。
That's because he doesn't hold back. He just says crap.
うん。もっと心地よい賞賛を続けたまえ。
ともかく成田のせいで玉緒はおかしくなって学園生活どころか日常生活もまともに送れないような深刻な状態になってるの。
Yeah, I mean, we have kind of ruined her at school. Like, I'm sure her grades are going down. And we already knew that they weren't great to begin with, okay? Ready to turn it all around in the final round, she gathered her courage and pounced on me again.
だから
As if to drown her out, a new challenger approached through the door. Speak of the devil, it was Tamao, however.
おはようございます
What? What?
うわーなって出た出ちゃったにゃー出会え電柱でござりまする地球破壊爆弾持ってきてください
I'm just lost. What? Was her hair dyed? Is that what they're implying? Or, like, did she dye it just a normal hair color and she's now a normal schoolgirl? So lost. So confused. The anomaly made everyone in the classroom stand up and back away. Tamao's glasses shone.
なんだこれは玉をなのか
かつて玉緒だったものらしいね。
Even Tuggy and I were overwhelmed. Such immense power. What was this? Tamao had turned into someone completely different. Was this the cosplay Eru once talked about? Her hair had been parted in two and bound at a lower level. She looked like a schoolgirl from old monochrome photos. Where had she gotten those round glasses? I didn't even think they came in such sizes.
どうしたのかね玉を生き別れの兄弟でも人質に取られたのか
何を言っているんですか成田さんだってこの間
君は本物の清楚な乙女だと思うやはり乙女とは核あるべきだ
So she's trying to be like a pure maiden, like an innocent girl.
おっしゃっていたじゃないですか
This is too weird. I don't like it. I certainly had said that. People from all corners of the classroom glared daggers at me. Not just any daggers, but ones covered in lethal and painful Indian Carrera poison? Not too sure how to pronounce that. Was her transformation really my fault? In all honesty, this seemed good in its own
と
right.
ても似合っているよ玉を可愛い姿だ
This doesn't even look like it. This looks like a completely different person. Like, this was like a 180 on her personality. I almost saw a flower garden form around her head. She truly enjoyed the praise, so I wished to lavish her with it. Of course, I hadn't been at least the least bit dishonest either. Bringing her hair seemed like an enjoyable task, and no man disliked her beloved changing. His beloved changing herself for his sake. That much was obvious. It made me want to have her don a simple apron and stand in the kitchen.
しかし玉を
どうかしましたか成田さん他に何かしてみましょうかリボンとかヘアバンドとか
She looked like a dog who hadn't seen its owner in 3 days. It made me feel guilty.
なんとかしろ成田僕死んじゃうかも
Like, bro, what in the world did you do? You broke her. Like,
これが人類絶滅の原因ですか
only in a game. Only in a game. They spoke to me almost telepathically. Shinri Narita was a man who walked his own path. Looks like the criticism didn't bother him in any way. Tamao had acted on her own will as well, so I respected the resolve. However, I had to agree with the other crown's assessment.
清純な玉をはとても可愛い
そうですかそうですかもう成田さんもう
とはいえ私は普段通りの玉緒が好きだなぜならありのままの玉緒にこそ
ものは言いようという
というより諸悪の根源が何を偉そうにでも玉緒ちゃんは嬉しそうにしてるからそんな砂糖がしめいた甘さで世知辛いシャバを生き抜けるものではないのです成田のように必要ならばあらゆる卑劣な言葉を浪する高顔さこそが必要なのですから
Gosh, Eru, sometimes you drop these like gems of dialogue and I love it. Like, I'm really excited to play her route because she wasn't a character I cared about before either. But I've noticed a lot of you guys like Eru. Like, it's kind of insane. But I didn't really care for her at first, I'm gonna be honest with you, right? But like, she's been growing on me a little bit. Like all the girls, I feel like have been growing on me in their own ways. Like, at first I liked Soriko, and then I got to know Soriko a little bit more, and actually, like, I don't know, I've enjoyed seeing the other girls.
私はいつでも完膚なきまでに本気だと思う
I replied to the criticism I heard coming from behind me. Tamao got lost in her own world again as Ero and a number of other students took out their phones and snapped photos of this precious moment. And so the pure Tamao vanished like an illusion, becoming mere data. Well, that was certainly odd. I'll say that. Okay, this looks like a good point to stop. A few days later, I got a reply from Hishia. Okay, that's gonna be good. I'm excited about that. I'm always happy to hear from my maid, right? But, wow. Okay, so interesting stuff happening this episode. Yeah, they did that. Yep, okay. And she looks like a pure maiden and totally changed her look. That threw me off. I don't know if, like, I was actually like genuinely shocked. I was like, what the heck did she do? I was trying to see, like, did she dye her hair? I felt like her hair was naturally red, but I have no idea. It was strange, to say the least. That did not look like Tamao at all. But that was a pretty good episode. Hopefully the next one's going to be good, because I think they're finally going to go into the plant. They're going to try to go through the forest. I think that's what's going to happen this next episode. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, of course. But anyways, guys, hope you enjoyed. Have a good one. I'll see you next time.